Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Frozen Fortunes. Can I just say, before we get into anything else, thank you so much for all the support that you showed on the first video. I honestly didn't expect very much, just because people have been gone so long, I'd been gone so long, and I didn't think that it was going to make much difference just because I uploaded. But really, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. That was freaking awesome. Right, we have quite a fair few things to discuss today before we get into the game against Shellerup. Now, this is the fourth in the league, but obviously that's just on alphabetics and stuff. There has been one game already played in the league. I think it was a 1-1 draw, so that's something to look out for. Literally, the first thing I did when I started playing this save is I went and I've got us some staff, because often in these types of save, you start off with the worst possible members of staff that you could imagine. Now, we do still have a recruitment slot open, but for some reason, the board won't let me actually fill it, because I can't hire another scout because I've got 1 of 1, and it won't let me hire any of the other positions because, well, it just won't. It says they don't need them. So that's a strange aspect. Maybe we could hire a director of football, but the problem is there's none available, and I don't really want to have to promote someone from within. We'll sort that out later. As for the actual staff themselves, I sacked almost every person I had at the club because they were shit, basically. We've got a new assistant manager in Lasse Fischer, and, you know, he's got relatively solid stats. I mean, we got a few things like working with youngsters, which is kind of what we want, man management. He can judge potential ability, and I wanted to make sure that I got a lot of that in before we did anything regarding signing players, because it's all very well me bringing in loads of amateur players that we can then ship off, but if I don't really know at a quick glance whether they're going to be any good or not, then it's not worth doing, really. So looking at the actual scouts I brought in, we do have a couple. We've got a brand new chief scout who I think is actually quite decent. Yeah, 10 and 13 is not bad. He's got some tactical knowledge as well, and some reasonable stats. Data analysis is irrelevant at this point, so that's not too bad. He's actually a real person too, Henrik Johannesson. So hopefully he can be good for us for a few years until we can get someone better coming along. And we've also got a scout in Alan Hauke. And again, decent. He's a regen scout as well, which I don't know why I find that so enjoyable. I just do. He could be director of football, you know. Although, maybe not. I don't know what his coaching and stuff is that like, so we'll have to find out. The point is, the staff are much better than they were. So let's just jump in and take a little look at some of the players we've signed, and there were a lot of them. Now, you might look at this and go, you've gone absolutely mental with this, and you'd be correct. We did sign a shitload of players, but the vast majority of them weren't any good and left. I noticed that, for example, when I was looking in the Northern Irish lower leagues, very few of those players that would actually join us were any good. Most of them were just pretty piss poor for the most part. The best success I had with Ireland and Northern Ireland was going into their under-19s leagues of these sort of slightly bigger clubs and finding players that were on non-contracts and trying to bring them in. So most of the players that we've got that have stayed that are from Ireland or Northern Ireland have all come in because of those, rather than being in the amateur sides. That's generally how that's worked. We did sign a few players from the Icelandic third tier, though, and some of those are probably going to be the ones that are going to play sooner than any of the Irish guys. It's really quite a fertile ground for talent, it would seem. And also, as you can see, we've signed a bunch of players from Listerop. Now, some of these I've had on my test save, so I knew they were good, and some of them I haven't. There's also a couple that I missed out on this time round, despite getting in there the very first day. There's a guy called Sorensen, who is a really good right back or wing back, who we didn't get this time, but don't worry, we've got some players that can fill in there. A couple that I didn't get this time round, we got a goalkeeper called Chris Heder, who, again, real player. I mean, he's nothing special, and we do have some better players around the club, but it was always good to get a bit of experience in, even though he has 2 determination. He's a good leader, though, just not very determined about it. The man I'm really excited about is one I did not get last time around. That is Simon. Okay, I'm going to take a run up for this, and I apologize in advance if I'm butchering Danish names. In fact, I say when I butcher Danish names. My best friend these days has become the website forvo.com, where I can try and look some of this stuff up, but they don't have everything, so I'm doing my best. So we're going to go with Simon Corner. For now, if you can correct me on that, that'd be awesome. Point is, 5-star, 5-star. He's only got 2 finishing, though. So, I mean, this man, he's got some great touches. First touch 13, passing 11, technique 12. Couldn't finish his dinner, but he can pass it to you, then you can finish his dinner. So he's probably going to have to play in a deep line forward type of role, because I don't want him near the goal. I want him acting like a sort of pivot, I guess, is the best we could hope for from him. Unfortunately, he is injured and has a concussion, so he'll miss today's game anyway, which is disappointing. Now, most of the players that have come in, as you can see, these guys are all from Listerop, so Nygård, Borup, Stephenson, I think, was a free agent who, for some reason, was able to actually join us. Berger is on, or however you pronounce his name, is on trial for us at the moment, but I'll probably pick him up as well, just for squad numbers. But you've still got people like Rasmus Bigler. He's still pretty decent by the standards of this team. Ali Rizai, who is actually Afghani, which is quite cool. He's Danish, but he's got Afghani heritage, which is pretty awesome, actually, to have an Afghani player. But most of the players I brought in are sort of down here. These are the sort of area where a lot of these guys lurk, as it were. So you can see some sort of more English or Irish sounding names here. There's also an American goalkeeper called Todd Schallenberger. He's Icelandic, but he's American. And he's been wanted by some Icelandic clubs since we signed him. So hopefully that means he's got some potential. We'll have to wait and see. As well as players like Brian Walters and Dare O'Reilly, who look to be pretty solid as well. We'll just take a quick look at Dare, since he's another one of these players that keeps getting requests from other sides. Now, he's nothing special yet, but he could turn into something, according to my scouts. And it was just so nice to be able to bring in players and have my scouts immediately tell me whether they were worth keeping or not. And because I didn't have time to go through like 150 players that we'd signed to look at each one's individual stats, I was kind of just going off the star ratings plus a cursory glance myself, which means we might have let a gem slip through the cracks, but this already took 3 hours. I sat there pressing approach to sign, probably about 500 times. It's burned into my psyche now. You'll see some of these new players in action soon, hopefully. Some of them will be on the bench today. I think some might even get in the first team due to some of the injuries we've got. But a lot of it is for the future, because that's where we're kind of heading right now. We've got a few that I think are in the under-19 squad as well. Yeah, there's a couple in here, like Liam Boyd, Peter Campbell. Some of them I signed earlier on, and it's had more of a chance to sort of calibrate the stars. So some of them I might well bump off. Not bump off, I'm not going to kill them. That would be horrible thing to do. But we did get a cup draw, and the cup drew us against Naseby, which is not great, really. They're at the same level as we are. So hopefully we can sneak through, although we are away from home as well, which is worrying to say the least. One thing I forgot about transfers, as you would have noticed here, Thomas Lauerson. Do you remember that guy that I said, he'll probably never play for us? Well, I was right, because the moment I went to, basically the moment I pressed continue, Randers came in like, hello there, we'd like your player, please, and you're going to give him to us, essentially. And we had no choice in the matter. He wanted to join AGF, but they never actually put a bid in. I mean, it's a top flight side in Denmark. There was nothing we could do about that, which is very disappointing, but that's life in the amateur divisions, unfortunately. You just kind of have to get used to that. And as you can see for finances, travel costs, we've only shelled out £450 for travel costs so far. Hopefully that will stay relatively in check. We've made a bit of a loss this month, but that's fine. We've got we got a kit, where is it? Kit sponsorship, TV sponsorship. Oh, it's this month. Basically, we got a sponsorship for the next 2 years, I think, which is like 14 grand overall, which is surprisingly high. Or at least I think it is. It probably isn't for this level, but I don't know. But I think our projections, I mean, it's not too bad. I think with the right adjustments, we can probably make ourselves pretty solvent over time, I hope. One thing I couldn't resist talking about is we have a player called Hotman. I have nothing really more to add to that, but we have a player called Hotman. Just saying. I'm immature like that. So today's game is against Schellerup, and we're obviously the away side. Now, I'd like to thank someone in the comments who suggested that I try a sort of variation on this tactic. This is actually the version I made, the Snowpiercer, as I call it. It's basically the same system I showed you, but just as you can see, the positions are slightly different, and obviously we have our instructions built in. Now, obviously, this is the best 11 I picked. Good lord, look at some of the match fitness is not great for amateur players. I've got to say, I've played them all in almost every preseason game, and they've gained no match fitness. Hopefully, that's the same across the board for the other teams, so we should be at the same sort of level of advantage, or disadvantage, as it were, as they are. But yeah, so I'd like to thank, hang on, I've got your name written down here, Bjornar Strand, for a sort of suggestion on the tactic that he reckons works away from home as well. So, as you can see, positionally, it's very similar to mine, but it's a more controlled tactic and has an awful lot more team instructions. But thankfully, I'm guessing we've worked on enough of it to be somewhat familiar with it. So what I might do today is actually try his tactic out, since it's away from home, and I know for a fact that mine does not work well away from home. I think in all my tests, out of probably about 30 away games, I think we won once, and that was 1-0, and we were getting absolutely smacked around, basically. But in order to actually play this, we're going to have to change a few things up. So Mikkelsen is a much better. We've got two playmakers in here. So Mikkelsen is probably the best bet still. One of them has got really good passing and tackling, and that's kind of the issue. And it is not you. It's obviously Röder. So I don't know whether to put one in. Let's see. Is that better? That is identical. So we're just going to go for this for now. Are they both right-footed, or is one left-footed? He is right-footed, and he is right-footed also, so that's no help for us. Obviously, Corner can't play, so we're going to have to bring in probably Nicky Stephenson, although I'm actually tempted to play Franson because he's a youngster from the club, one of the players I didn't bring in myself, and he's got decent sort of match fitness so far, so that might help us as well. Plus, Stephenson's playing on the other wing. So looking at this, Bodup is good there. Kramer is going to be the guy that will play in place of Stephenson. We don't get to use Thomas Laursen, which is a shame, and Gunnarsson, who is one of the other Icelandic players I brought in, won't get to start today, but I think we're going to go with Finn Pedersen in that. So of the team that we've got here, Franson was already at the club. These guys are both brought in on freeze as real players, as is he and he and he and he. So as you can see, the Listrup contingent is fairly strong, including these two. But there's a few of the Icelandics as well. We've got Ludvigsson in goal, and obviously we'll pick a bench too. I don't know how well this is going to work. I usually just do that. But there we go. That's fine. There's no goalkeeper on the bench, is there, lads? Now, that's not good. Right, Morten Bisgaard can go on the bench in place of... Ooh, who do we want to put in place of? There's enough strikers on the bench, so that's going to be it. We'll have to give some of these guys numbers, but let's just jump into the game and see where we can go with this. Hopefully, we'll win. I'm not liking the chances, to be honest, guys. Let's jump into this. I should also add that we were 1,000 to 1 to go up, so that's fun. And also, when we were offered the opportunity to give our sort of team meeting to say where we should be expected to finish this season, the only option I had was to think that we could scrape ourselves against a relegation battle. That was the only option it gave me, and then the team said that I was being too ambitious. So make of that what you will. It's still completely broken. Hopefully SI will look into that, because that is nonsense. So, yeah. Pre-match tactical briefings. What do you make of them? I've not managed to find a use for them yet. I just give them to my assistant because I don't understand what they do. I think we'll have to try and do that. It's not ideal. I'm better when I'm being aggressive, but I don't want to be aggressive at the start of the game. You might notice as well that I'm playing on extended highlights. The reason for that is because it gives me a chance to analyze the game a bit better, as well as means I can sort of chop it up a little bit and not end up missing awesome stuff sometimes, because I think that's quite important. Right, let's jump into this game. I'm just going to make sure that we've got some things up here. I want a league table, which we're going to move over here. Oh, it's great playing this on a big monitor, I've got to say. I can actually use it better and actually see what's going on it. I've got a new graphics card in this computer as well, so things should look pretty damn good as well. Let me just make this not be this. I want the formations, so we can actually see what system they're playing. And here, I want... What do I want here? That's the one. I figured it out. It was just B67 stats. So that's fine. We've got everything set up there. We are good to go. But yeah, I have a new graphics card, so hopefully that should make this nice and smooth, or smoother than it was. How are we 10 minutes into this game and we've not had a single highlight? I am on extended, right? Yes, okay. We're not getting a lot of possession. I just realised I forgot to set up the free kick takers. So that could be a problem. I've also not got a set piece instructions put on for this system, because it's obviously one that been given, which is very similar to the one I've made. Hang on, wait. I hope I set it to this tactic. I'm just going to check this. Apologies if I'm a little bit rusty at this sort of nonsense. Commentating is not something that I've been doing very much recently. Yeah, we are on that tactic, but we don't have any set piece instructions for it. So that's something I'm definitely going to have to work on if this tactic proves to be even vaguely successful. Oh, God. Petrus on the wing, bringing it down. One of the issues with this sort of tactic with the wingbacks is that it does leave you massively open, as you can see here, on the wing. Get across there. Yes, Gregerson. Oh, goodness. Right, Kramer can clear it. No, long shot incoming. Please just shoot from range. It's going to be a back post. Oh, good lord. Gertson, and it's wide. That's fine by me. Oh, God, we can relax a little bit now. So, yeah, we haven't got any instructions on, so Bodup back to Gregerson, into Röder. There's going to be a lot of... Oh, hello, go on, Stephenson is in the box. Can he pull it back for someone? He can! That's going to be a really... Well, I mean, we couldn't ask for much more from Alan Franson. He appears to be carrying a knock already. I don't know how serious that is, because it didn't pop up and tell me. Have I not got notifications on? I actually don't know what's going on there. Franson appears to have picked up an injury, which is not exactly ideal. What does it say? Potential knee injury. We can't risk him. We're going to go with... Well, we've got two Irish lads, so let's go with Andrew Nicol. He scored a lot of goals against me for the under-18 side, so hopefully he can do it today in the big leagues, basically. Mikkelsen out to Kramer, ball in. That's going to go to nobody, though. Overgaard will pick that up. Oh, Nicol's onto the ball. Can he square it? Oh, my God, Nicol. There was a really good opportunity there, and I feel like he should have passed that, because he's just missed an absolute sitter for us. It's dropping down for Röder. Can he get it back out to the wing? He can. Mikkelsen's ball in. It's brought down. It's... Oh, good effort. I tell you what, guys. This might actually work away from home. We've created nothing clear-cut so far, apart from the Nichols chance, which I think should have counted for more. This is looking all right, you know. I'm trying to work out the sort of main differences between my tactic and Bjornar's version of it, and I'll have a look off screen, because this is the first time I've really taken a proper close look at it. So, first half, it's 0-0. We're not losing. That's the main thing. What do we do here? Do we just go passionate and try and G them up? We've been the better team. Just keep doing what you're doing and be fine. They don't care, do they? That's unfortunate. It seems that at the moment they're not quite on board with my mission so far. And I do think that in this second half, it might come down to match fitness. And I'm not sure what it's like for Schellerup as far as match fitness goes. If we can just snatch a goal, Mikkelsen to Rasmus Kramer, all the way across and cleared. But they don't really have many men up the pitch. Oh, hello, Nygård. Go on, into the channel. Stephensen's in. Stephensen's in. Oh, what a bloody... That's a great save. Nicky Stephensen could have given us the lead there, and it would have been the perfect moment for it. Borup to Röder. Uh-oh. Oh. I just assumed that was going to be a foul, but there's a bit of a gap in behind here. Den Huis is in, and that's got to be 1-0, and it is. That's a shame. Oh. I thought there might have been a hint of offside there, but it doesn't look as though there was. That's unfortunate. We've actually played really well in this game. And, I mean, how is that not a foul? It looked to me like he's on the verge of offside as well, but once he gets in behind, it's really him against the goalkeeper, and the keeper's going to do nothing about that, and we trail at Schellerup. It's annoying because I don't feel like there's a lot we can change because I'm actually quite satisfied with how we're playing. We'll give it a bit longer and we might have to make a substitution to try and bring ourselves back into this game. That's very disappointing because we've played really well so far. Watch out for that channel. There we go. Gregersson's over the top. Nichols in. Can he get there quickly? No, he can't. He seemed to give up there. I think you need to try a little bit harder, Andrew. I know this is your first game for us and you're probably like 12, but that's beside the point. More effort, please. Ball over the top again. Nygård. He's through. Can he score? It's a tight angle and it's well saved again by Overgaard. We're creating opportunities, we're just not quite finishing them off. I do wonder if there's an option for us to maybe turn down the tempo a tad, just to give us more of a I don't know what we're doing regarding tempo here. I haven't actually paid much attention to this. Tempo's much higher. I might just drop the tempo down to normal, just to maybe give us a better opportunity to take these chances, because I think the players might be rushing it a little bit. When they're getting the ball, they're sort of struggling to cope with the opportunities, I guess. But we are creating them, and that's kind of the most important thing for me. I really don't know where to go from here. We're playing well. We've created some good opportunities so far, and we've been a bit unfortunate so far. Uh-oh. Go on, there you go. Ibsen was a bit of a problem child, I must admit, when I had him on the other saves, purely because he just seemed to make too many mistakes. Nygård into the channel for Stephensen. Come on, Nicky. Oh, it's going to come to Nickel. He's going to end up shooting, isn't he? No, he goes out for Borup. We need a good cross now, guys. Come on, ball in. Stephensen! He's hit the post. I can't believe how well we're actually playing here. If we lose this, it's going to be very unfortunate, but they have taken their chances. So, what can we make in terms of changes? Gregerson has played appallingly. I'm guessing he made the mistake for the goal, but we've got no one really we can bring on at the back, so we might have to avoid that for now. I'm going to bring on Rizai for Borup, because he's good in that position. And have we got another striker to come in? I think, who's looking nervous? He's looking more nervous. So we're going to get Stephen Linus is going to come in, another of the Irish contingent, to finish this game off. We just need, if we can just get an equaliser, I'd be happy. Because I think that on the balance of play, we probably deserved it. A 1-1 draw would be satisfactory, I'd say, for this first game of the season. Oh my goodness, look at the space he's got there. One of the issues with this tactic is that exact thing. Gregerson will have to stay on. Hopefully he can redeem himself. We'll see. Here's Rizai with his first opportunity. That's a really nice vision. Just didn't quite come off for him. Lindegaard, right, get in there. There we go. Oh, he's going to lose the ball immediately. It's going to be difficult. Often our wing-backs are going to get isolated, and that's just one of those things, unfortunately. Frødegaard. Oh, uh-oh. There's space out wide for him here. Lindegaard. Ball in. This is going to be a goal, isn't it? Oh, that's another good opportunity for them. So far, I still think we've been the better side, but they've taken their chance, and that's kind of what matters at this point. Rasmus Kramer's looking very low on condition, but we've made all 3 subs, unfortunately, and we need something here. Right, we're on what? We're on control. I'm going to push to attacking for the final 8-9 minutes of this game and see if we can snatch ourselves an equaliser. I think, on the balance, we've probably done enough to get that, but maybe just match fitness, people are rusty, the team cohesion might not be quite there, and we're just not taking our chances today, which is a shame, but I think it's positive for the rest of the season. We've been good enough to earn points today. Oh, what a bloody pass. What a pass. Oh. Well, I think we know where the weakness of this tactic lies. Those long balls over the top. And one of the reasons that I play a slightly deeper line with the one I've used is for this exact reason. Look at that lumped over the middle. The defenders, again, didn't push up. This Denius guy is actually pretty decent. It's a good finish from him, and we are 2-0 down. There's definite weaknesses to this tactic. I can see that as clear as day, unfortunately, but what can you do? Right, here we go. Get a goal back or something. Just make it 2-1. And that's gone out for a throw-in. Deary me, I can't believe. Well, I can totally believe it. It's the lower leagues at Danish football, but there's a lot of positives to take from this, despite the scoreline being less than admirable. But we'll do our best with this to work on it, and we've lost 2-0. A lot of positives to take from this game. I think we were probably perhaps not the better side, but we played our part in the game, and I think on another day this might well have been our result. Hopefully we can start turning things around, build some morale, and get ourselves back to winning ways, or to start winning. I'm going to be angry with the guys just because I'm not happy with the performance out there. We need to try and G them up in the next game. Finn Pedersen doesn't like it, but we don't like Finn Pedersen. So now it comes to the point where I'm going to explain what's going to work with these sort of schedules with regards to the game. So I wanted to do a bit more in them. So what I'm going to do is make the next episode this home game here against Sydvest, which means in between we've got Naseby, Leasing, Jammerbugt, Aarhus, Odder, and Aarhus again. Apologies for the pronunciations of all of these. So we're going to get a nice bumper crop of games out the way, and we'll come back for Sydvest because I want to try showing you a home game because hopefully we'll win. I hope. We really do need to start picking up points though, because that's a disappointing result. But again, a lot of positives can be taken from it. So, I don't think there's anything else to really discuss. So, I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, do be sure to drop a like on the video. That'd be really cool. Again, no like targets, as this is just for fun. And if you're new to the channel and haven't already subscribed, then there's going to be a little button you can push after the video has ended that will say subscribe. Hit that and great things will happen to you, I promise. And yeah, so that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.